Okay, good evening, guys. Once again, it's another Saturday, and this week we'll be looking towards trying to use opacity for animation in our animation because basically for the past maybe 4 weeks or 3 weeks, we've only used other parameters. We've not touched opacity at all. So today we'll be trying to use opacity in our animation. And to do that, I created an illustration of a ghost. So basically, this is how the illustration are divided into different layers. So my bottom layer is basically just the background. So, and we have a shadow, a cup of a shadow, because I won't be going through the illustration from the beginning. You guys will just have to illustrate yours and place it on different layers from the same way it has been placed like this. And you will see how to do that in previous videos and how to save and export it to After Effects. So the next layer is basically a cup shadow. So we have a coffee paper cup. Um, Next thing we have I created two different stickers. One sticker with it smiling, just simple, wow. A second sticker with it having a very scary kind of smile. That's on their own different separately as the two stickers. The next layer is basically the eyes for the second sticker because I'm going to be animating the eyes separately, and we always say things that we want to animate separately are saved and placed on different layers. The next layer is, in fact, let me add remaining layer so you see what the next layer is about. The next layer is about the shadow for a ghost character. So then the next layer above it is the character, the ghost itself, the body of the ghost, while the next one above it is basically the face, that's the eyes and maybe mouth of the ghost. So you would have to illustrate all this, place them on different layers. You do this for the ghost, the shadow, and the body. Use the created from using rectangle and curving the edges, then the eyes. Then after doing for the itself, you will create a coffee mug with its shadow on the bottom. So once you've done all that and save them in separate layers, they will look a little bit rough like this. But once you've done that, you now save, then export and import it into After Effects. So just be going to After Effects. I'd already imported mine into After Effects already. So this is the complete okay. This is the complete illustration here. So firstly, we'll be working with the ghost. So the first thing we'll do is let's hide the what do you call it? Let's hide the coffee mug. So the first thing to do is since I've labeled everything, so it's very easy for me to know where the coffee mug starts from. So it's coffee mug. Things have to do with coffee mug. So I'm hiding two stickers, then the eyes. Then basically all what we have now is a ghost. Now what are ghosts known for? Ghosts are basically known for being maybe characters or objects or things that we cannot touch. Basically the animation basically involve them floating and sometimes they are invincible. You understand? So we're going to be replicating that while them floating while also being invisible. The invisible part will be done with opacity, which we are supposed to look at today since we've never looked at what opacity does. Also, we'll also be looking at one very important key element that we've not talked about before as well. That's what we call parenting. What it means by parenting is it's almost the same thing as saying when you group a particular object to an object. The reason why we'll be doing that is for this now, if we basically have many things that are on different layers, we have the shadow, we have the ghost body, and the ghost face. Now the thing is we want it in a way that we only just once we animate the ghost body, we want the eyes and the face to move with it. We don't just want to do body, then animate eyes, you understand? It's going to be very stressful. So you'll be parenting the face to the body. And what it means to parent face to the body is just all you have to do is basically, as you can see here, they go to none, none, none. You see, they go to parent and link, and they go to none, none, none. So all you have to do is just this is for the ghost face. Just click on this none, and then you want to parent it to the ghost body. So you just click on body. You can do it this way, or you can just drag this link button and drag it to the ghost body. So any of the two does the same thing. Now let me show you the function of what you just did. So if you press the P for position parameters and you try to move the body of the ghost anywhere, you will see the face goes along with it. As you can see, it's not separated anymore. The advantage of this is while you can create motions for the body to be moving forward, you can also now create certain motions for the eyes, for the face as well, meaning that you can make the face move forward and up at the same time. If I wanted to maybe do for the face now, all I have to do is see. So it's just like as if I'm making it go forward while also going backwards at the same time. So that's basically the advantage of this particular painting. So I'm trying to place it back in the center. So what we'll be doing, like I said, we know that ghost basically floats. So the motion of floating is basically the position of up and down in a very slow manner. So that's what we'll basically be doing right now. So the first thing is we'd have to get our down positions first, which are okay. This is already it's we say this is its down position. We create a keyframe. Let's go far into the timeline and create another down motion. To create, once you've basically clicked the stopwatch, if you want to create another key point and you didn't change the values, all you have to do is you click this in between here, it creates another key point. So now we have both down for both sides. So let's get our up position now. So all we have to do is just move the post a little bit up. Let's just something like this should be enough. We'd have to check out the let's see. I'm easing it. That's F9. Then let me bring the time frame forward. So I just want to see just the up and down motion. Yeah. So if we play it out, let's see what it feels like just to go up and down. We want to see whether it's too fast or too slow. So I've clicked on it to play. So I feel it's too slow, though it feels like as if it's definitely floating. I feel we could make it even faster. So what I will do is I will reduce the whole full motion to under 3 seconds. If you so that's let me see. I'm trying to hold it under 3 seconds. Yes. So definitely see whether it's faster. Okay. So let me play it. Let's see whether it's faster and better. Or maybe it will be too fast. Okay, it's taking a while. Um, okay, so I actually feel this is a bit better for a ghost floating animation. Let me see. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see. That's 1 to confirm. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let me make it even a little bit faster. So so the animation is it's not too long. So I'm gonna it's the new speed of things. Okay, yeah, this is definitely better. So since we've gotten this, I would say we duplicate the floating more than once. Let's see. So 3, I just want to confirm something. So the distance between each one, it's basically I held shift, then page down 3 times. That is the distance between one up and one down. So that's I'm going to be duplicating it and doing the same again. So 1, 2, 3. So it's currently down. So what I want to do is I want to take it up. So I'll just copy these 2 keyframes, the up and the next down as well. Copy it, then paste it to the new location. Copy, then paste. Okay. So with this, we have 2 up and down motion. So that basically shows you the ghost floating. Now, one other thing that could basically bring this more to life, it's the fact that, as you can see, the shadow it's not moving. And when a person is floating, we like the one of the older animations we did that when you are very far away from the ground, the shadow becomes smaller, and when you're closer to the ground, the shadow becomes larger. So what we have to do is we have to animate the shadow to make it look even more realistic. That means that when the ghost goes up, we have to reduce the size of the shadow, and when it comes down, we leave it at the normal size again. So what you have to do is basically add a scale keyframe to the shadow scale. Make sure to unlink it because you are not making it smaller by proportion. You're just making the wideness decrease, not the tallness. So you first add a keyframe from the normal size, add keyframes for every time it's on the ground because it will be in normal size. Um, Another keyframe. Then the last one, I think, is also on the ground here. Yes, another keyframe. So now, when it goes up, that's when we need to it's smaller. So we are going to be reducing it to, don't forget the first parameter is always the x axis, while the second parameter is always the y axis. So let's go 90. Okay, okay. Then let's do the same when it's up here as well. Just Control C, Control V. I copied the 91 to this new place. So now I easy ease everything. The way I easy ease is basically I select everyone, then I press F9 as a shortcut for easy easy. So basically let's take a look at the animation. As you can see, shadow is also animating with it. So that basically shows that makes it look a little bit more realistic. When it comes close to the ground, the shadow becomes bigger. When it goes up, the shadow becomes smaller. So I think we have more space. So what we're gonna do now is basically now work with opacity. So I think we should duplicate the up and down motion more because we'll be covering lots of today's animation will be quite a bit long. So let's go here. Let's say the first up and down. Then let's work with opacity from this first up and down. Wait, so that's we want to add transparency, opacity to the body. So the shortcut for it is basically T for transparency, but it's called opacity, but the shortcut is T. So when it has gone up and down once, we want to make it visible. So when it's going up and down again, we want to make it invincible. We just want to make the body invincible, like a ghost, you understand? As if a ghost faded out. So I want to put it in the center of the two keyframes. Let's see for so as you can see right now, the opacities are set at 100. So when you turn it to 0, it becomes invincible. It fades out. So it's loading. So as you can see, it has faded out. So F9, easy. I'm using it. So I said I wanted to duplicate more of the up and down motion. So let's try and ask 1, 2, 3. So just want to copy this and paste it up and down again. Same thing for the bottom part for the shadow, up and down again. So let's play it and see what we have. So okay, it's gonna play, so it's moving. So basically, I think we should still leave the body a bit. Let's not get to 0 opacity, because I think it will look better if you can see a little bit of the ghost. So I'm going to be changing this from 0 to let's say 20. Hmm? Hmm. So yeah, as you can see, once it starts playing, so it moved from full opacity, so the ghost became a little bit more invincible, but while it's still going up and down. So one of the other things we definitely add to make this animation even better, like I said, would be doing a lot today. Just do like a full, gonna be like a full animation series. So after this, but to make it interesting, I want to do it like as if the ghost moved forward. So let's say, okay, went up once, then went up, down. Let's see. So when it's going, I want to make it okay. When it's going up, it rotates, then go forward. Just now I want to make it like so. When it's going up again, so again, up, up, here. Let's do it here. So when it wants to move forward, its body would rotate. So let's do arrow and click like this. When it's up, its body should have fully rotated a little bit. So let's see. Let's add 10. Let's see what 10 does. 10 is too much. Let's do 5. 5, okay. 5 is a bit better. So 9. Mhm. So see, okay. So up, down, up, down, up. Okay. Let's synchronous this. Okay. So with this, the next thing we're going to do is, as you can see, once it gets here, when it rotates, the shadow it's not aligned with it anymore. So we need to add position keyframe to the shadow. Let's delete this keyframe so that the shadow can basically be aligned with it. So I think I have to go back a bit before I rotated. So add the keyframe. Once it's rotated, the shadow will move a little bit to the left. I'm sorry it's taking a while. My system seems to be hanging a lot today. Too much of work and money. Okay, so it's going to, okay, let's move forward as let's move it to the side. It's moving. It's That's moved. So let's ease this. So with this, let's check our current animation. Um, okay, up, down. Okay. This is up, down, yes. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So this is basically part two of what we did yesterday. So we are trying to complete the animation today. So basically where we stopped at yesterday was basically the animation for the ghost. It's meaning it was floating up and down. Then it became a little bit invincible, which we did with position and opacity. So I'm going to play to basically see where we stopped yesterday, just to confirm that. So where we stopped. So this was what we did yesterday. So this was the up and down motion for the ghost, while it's also became invincible. So one thing I noticed after looking at this animation is I feel it's too slow. So I'm just going to reduce the amount of its floats, the amount of its floats. So I just want to reduce that. One, two. Then from there would continue. So just a minute. I want to select all the keyframes. Um, um, right, okay, sorry. Just a minute. Okay, so the length has been reduced, though the animation is basically still the same. So I just want to show you that it's still the same. So as you can see, it's still the same. So now, one thing we want to do is, we want to make it, we want to make the ghost after floating, it goes out to the left hand side, to the right hand side of the screen, like as we move to the right hand side of the screen. So after floating twice, and to basically move, when you want to run, you definitely know you don't stand straight, you bend a little bit. That is why we added rotation to the ghost here. So the next thing we're supposed to do is to take the ghost from the center outwards. So that's basically adding a new keyframe for position. Let's see for position. So let's take it out of the screen. As ghost body. Okay. So let's play it and see how it moves. Okay. Feel it's a bit fast. Let's slow it down a little bit. So okay. Okay. And that's the movement for the ghost. As you can see, moved. Now we'll work with the graph editor to make it even, to float even smoother. Though we've not discussed a lot about the graph editor, we'll be talking about graph editors in our next class. So slower start, slower end. The animation should feel a bit more smoother now. As you can see. So now one thing you notice is when the ghost moves towards the outside of the screen, the shadow is not moving with it. So we definitely need to make the shadow, so we need to animate the shadow to move with it. So the first thing we'll do is when the ghost rotates like this, the shadow is supposed to move a little bit to the right, as you can see, because it's not directly underneath it anymore. It needs to move a little bit to the left, sorry. So we go for the layer of the shadow. We check the position parameters, which is for P. So for the position, what we'll do is, okay, this is which this is, but let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think this balances it out. So when you rotate, I think it started rotating from here. So the first movement of the keyframe should start from here. So what I did was I added a keyframe for the position when it's staying straight, then I moved it a little bit to the left. So it will flow with the ghost itself. Now, one other thing you will notice is if we were to try and animate the shadow to basically move to the right as well with the ghost, it might not happen uniformly. So what we need to do is we need to parent the shadow to the ghost. But if we were to parent the shadow to the ghost, if we parent this shadow to this ghost, it basically means when the ghost goes up, the shadow would also go up. And when the ghost comes down, shadow will come down. That means that wouldn't be good because the shadow needs to stay on the floor. So for the new animation to the right, what we will do is we basically create a new shadow and parent that shadow to the ghost. That is the one that will now follow it out of the screen. Now, for that shadow that we'll be doing, the shadow won't be visible until the ghost is about to move towards the right to leave the screen. So what we'll be doing is we'll duplicate this our original shadow, duplicate it with Ctrl D. So once you have duplicated, that means you have a new shadow. Now the shadow should only be visible when it's about to start moving to the right. So what you do is we cut it out till when it's about to move to the right. Yeah. So that means that shadow is not visible from the beginning, yes, to here itself. That's the only time it's visible. Now, one of the other things is to basically differentiate between your layers easily, aside from just the name. Since this one basically has Ghost Shadow 1 and Ghost Shadow 2, I think I might forget what it is. So what I would do is when you click into this box, which is here, it gives you options for, you can change the color of their timeline, because as you can see, the one already here are blue. So just to differentiate it, you could pick something else. So I say, let's say I would go for, let's see, green. So now I know that the second shadow is the one that is in green at any point in time. So it won't confuse me. Now, when we talked about parenting yesterday, I told you what it means. It's that you will draw this link icon to the body. That's you parenting it all. You click on this none and look for the name ghost body. So with this now, if we were to play the ghost body, you will see that the shadow would follow it out of the screen now. As you can see, the new shadow follows it out of the screen. But one thing you can see is the old one is still visible. So we'll need to make the old one not visible, starting from the same point in which the new one is visible. So you cut out the old one from where the new one is visible, drag out the timeline and cut it to that exact moment. So with this, you have a smooth animation for the ghost itself, meaning it floats, then moves out of the screen. So as you can see, this is it playing now. So one of the other things now, this is basically like the first part of the animation complete. So what we want to do is we want the ghost to now go out of the screen and go and eat a cup or something. You understand? I've drawn this cup before. So we'll be starting with the next scene of it because it moves out of this scene. I want to make like the next scene will be it coming in. That means he left this screen and went to that other screen, you understand, to do whatever he wants to do. So what we'll be doing, we'll still be using the same ghost. So all we have to do now is duplicate everything we have on the ghost, meaning the initial, meaning the second shadow, the ghost body, and its face. Those are all the components of the ghost itself. Those are most of the components of the ghost itself. So so basically, when I duplicate it with Ctrl D, so now we now have all those parts are duplicated, but you won't quickly notice it. So let me take it up a bit, which is, okay, now it's above all the body. Now to differentiate it, like I said before, because if I was to leave it like this, you will get confused with the new duplicated one and the old one. So what I will do, since I've selected all three, I will change its own color to a new color, which will let me differentiate which it is. So I will basically go for an orange.
Sorry, Matthew, please, how do you move all of them, like all the layers that you selected up?
Okay. To move layers or selected up, this is basically a button that works in Adobe After Effects, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe Photoshop. That's basically control and brackets, the control and square brackets. So when you click control and square, right square brackets, it goes up. When you click control and left square brackets, it comes down. That is basically the shortcut for it. it works on Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, all Adobe softwares. When you click Control and square brackets, it goes up or down. So that was it does. So that's basically what I used to move it a little bit up. So from there, I've changed the color of their time frame. So you know that whenever you see this orange, you know that you're dealing with the second ghost. Because what I want to do is, now that the ghost left the screen, I want the ghost to come in back into the screen. And the only way to do that is because I can't drag the one that has gone out back into it. So I'll create a new one. The new one will come in from the left. So I just created the old one. Then I will now add a new keyframe to that old one. That is what would be done. So, and as you can see, it's already parented, you see, because now it's named it Ghost Body 2 because I allocated Ghost Body, Ghost Phase 2, and Ghost Shadow 3. As you can see, this Ghost Phase 2 is already parented, see, to the Ghost Body 2. Then the Ghost Shadow 3 is already parented to the Ghost Body 2. So the parenting is done already because it was done previously and I just duplicated that one. So that's why it's already done here as well. So what I want to do is I want to animate the position for it now. So the one thing I will definitely do is I will remove the keyframes that are already on this previous one. To remove it, let me leave it back at when it's at center. Let me now cut out all the keyframes there. So I'll cancel it by clicking on the stopwatch again here. Then also, okay, I've done that since I selected all three. It has done that for all three shapes. Now I would add a new keyframe for it itself. So since the first one went out, let's first add, basically, I know that it will, when it comes in, it's going to be stopping here. So I want to first add a keyframe for Ghost Body 2. And then keyframe. So what I want to do now is the time immediately leaves the screen. We're trying to point at which it leaves the screen. I want this to come in from the other side. So this is for the y-axis. I want to do for the x-axis. So taking it to the side. Let's keep going to the side. Keep going to the side. Yes. So we ease it. Select OK frames, press F9. So it's now to check out our animation. So as you can see, it's a bit slower than expected because it went out, it's like the ghost went out fast to the right, but it came in slow on the left. So what we're going to do is we are going to try and match the same exact time frame for the bottom one to the top one. So basically, I remember the exact time frame I used for the old one was I held the shift page down once. Then I clicked page down 5 times alone without holding shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the exact measurement I used for the motion that made it ghost leave the screen. So I want to adjust it to that as well. See if it will match better. I'm trying to move, okay? So let's see the animation. Still a bit slow, but I'll be using the graph editor to make it come in faster. Or let me just reduce the time. Just reduce the time frame. As you can see now, it definitely looks like as if it's the ghost that left that came in. That's what it looks like. I think I'll just reduce it by 1 more keyframe to balance it here. So let's see it. See, that's what it looks like. So the ghost that left to the right came in back from the left. So now the next thing is, like I said, we want it to enter into an object because ghosts can basically enter into objects, penetrate into objects. So the object we wanted it to come into was a cup, which was illustrated and shown yesterday. So I'm going to, I put up the layers of the cup before. So I'm putting it on right now. All layers of the cup. Let me stop the animation. Let me put on all the layers. So that's the cup shadow, cup itself, the sticker 1, the sticker 2, and the eyes. Now, for the cup, when an object hits or comes into any particular object, that's a simple motion in which if I hit you on the left, you would basically stagger to the right a bit before balancing. You understand? That is just to do. I can't push you and you stand still. Your body parts will definitely move a little bit to the left. Now, to get that sort of animation, what the first thing we'll first do is we'll have to amend the anchor points of the cup, because if, like I said, if the ghost hits the cup from the left, the cup is supposed to tilt a little bit to the right. Now, for that to happen, you will use rotation. But if you were to use rotation while the anchor point is at this center, the rotation will be off. This is an example of it, because it will be very wrong, because that means it's not balanced with the floor. So to avoid this, you bring the anchor points and put it to the bottom part, to the right bottom part, because that's where it's supposed to tilt to. So put it to the bottom part of where the cup is supposed to tilt to. So I'll be zooming in for this so I can see it very clearly. So, okay, I've zoomed in too much. Let's see. Okay, this is the bottom part of it. So I want to drag the anchor points to the bottom. So dragging it down. In one of our previous lessons, we talked about the tool to drag down anchor points, which is this particular one that is beside the rotation tool. So this is the pan behind anchor point tool. So that's what it is. So you drag the points to the bottom right, because that is where the cup is supposed to tilt to. So now when we do a rotation of the cup, it doesn't leave the ground. I'm going to show you example of what I mean. So now when I rotate the cup a little bit, see it's loading. So you see, when I rotate the cup a little bit, it's not leaving the ground, it's still there. So that's the advantage of changing the anchor point. If I didn't change it, it would have left the ground. But now that I changed it to the bottom, it just moved to the side, it didn't leave the ground. So that's what we'll be using to animate the cup. Now, here, what we have to do is we now have to link every other object that is on the cup to the cup, because when I rotated it, as you can see, the sticker did not rotate with it. So I'm linking the sticker to the cup, the first sticker, the second sticker, and the eyes of one of the stickers. Those three will definitely be linked to the cup. Now, like I said, we want the ghost to go into the cup. So to match that, we'll look at exactly at the moment in which the ghost touches the cup. So the exact time in which it touches the cup is, I think, here. So when it does that, the cup is supposed to rotate to the side a bit. So let's try 5. Let's see if 5 works. If the ghost is still touching it, okay, the ghost is touching it. So 5, let's do 5, add the keyframe. Then the next frame, just press page down once. Let's see where the ghost is. It's still loading. Okay, the ghost is almost in. Then it's supposed to come back to normal, because the ghost has entered into it. So you change the rotation back to 0. Now, you ease it. As you can see, now it works well. Okay. Okay, one of the mistakes that happened before the cup hits the point, it should still be at 0. The cup should still be touching the floor normally. So I'm going to add one more keyframe before I rotated it. So I'm going to put at 0 as well. So what I did was 0 keyframe for rotation before touching the cup, 5 when after touching the cup, then going back to 0 as well again. So one of the other things you will look towards is the cup it's not supposed to show until this ghost is out of the screen. So right here, let me see page down once. Let's see what it does. It's loading. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, the cup should only show at this point in time. So you drag the line of the cup to it. The stickers as well. To it. Then the shadow of the cup as well. This is the shadow of the cup. Drag it to it. Okay. Slowly. Then for the stickers and the eyes as well, that should be dragged to when the ghost has touched the cup, because we want the sticker to change immediately the ghost enters into the cup. So for the sticker 2, that's when it becomes visible. It's for the sticker 2, the eyes of the sticker 2 and the body of the sticker 2. So, yes. Now we'll play what we have so far. Let's play what we have so far. So it's playing. So let's check it out. As you can see, this is what I mean. So the ghost moved from the screen and decided to go into a cup. So now once the ghost is in the cup, it should not be visible anymore. So we'll try as much as possible. As you can see, when you enter the cup, most of the body parts of the ghost is not visible, but its shadow, it's still visible. So we need to make sure that once it's in the cup, it's no longer visible. This is the point at which it truly entered the cup fully. So that's when it should stop being visible. So everything that has to do with the second ghost must be hidden. Everything that has to do with this orange must be hidden. So because start at that point, got it out at that point. We're going to start at that point. Okay. So let's play it. So as you can see, the ghost here, the shadow is no longer showing here. Shadow of the ghost, that means it's in the cup, since it can basically pass through objects. So we are playing it now. And so the ghost moved and decided to come into a cup. So one other thing now, to make it even more interesting, I would like to, you understand, make use of text and give the project a name as well, just to make it even, take it even further. So once the cup is basically shown a little bit, I want us to give this cup or this coffee brand the name and write out the name. So what I will be doing is I want to text out. So I want to take it down, the cup, I want it to go down. So let me give you more space for being very, so shift page down, page down. I think it's, let me do one more page down. That's staying in view for enough amounts of time. Now, what I want to do here next is I want to make sure all the cup comes down, everything has to do with the cup to come down. Now, since most of the things that has to do with the cup, I would like to change the color of the things that has to do with the cup. So I basically know it even more. I don't want it to stay at blue. So I'm selecting everything that has to do with the cup, and let me see what color I have not used. Okay, I don't think I've used this Francesca. It looks like pink. Okay. So now, as you can see, the cup itself, but the ghost, the shadow has not been linked to the cup. The reason why we can't link the shadow is because we did the rotation before. If we link it to the cup, the rotation will affect the cup itself. So there is something in After Effects called null objects. It's an invisible layer where you can parent anything and everything you want to parent to, and they will work together. You'll be able to animate everything together in one animation while parenting a lot of things to it. So to do that, you basically click right click, then you see new, then a null object. This is just giving you a new object that has nothing on it. But all you can do with it is to parent things to it. So I want to put the anchor pointer at the center. So then I want to centralize this because this is the null object, meaning no object is there, but you can just link things to it. So I'm using the align panel in the After Effects. So now once I've done this, now all I have to do is link the things I want to link to it, which was the cup shadow and the cup itself. Those are the things I wanted to link to it. So with this, now I said I wanted the cup to leave the view of the screen. So all I have to do is just animate this null object now, since it's at the center. I added the keyframe, then 1, then 2, then I take it down, taking it down. Let's see, let it go down. I'm coming down. Yes, so that I want it to leave the screen. Okay. Let me easy use this. F9. And let me play it. Okay. It's going smoothly, but the movement for it to go down feels a little bit slow. So I'll be using the graph editor to edit the motion speed, which I would make it faster from the beginning. Okay, let's see the difference. Should be better like this. Okay, it's looking nice. Just feel like I should just make it go down a little bit more. Let's see. Down, down. That should have done it. So let's view it. Oh wow, this is quite nice. So now what I was saying is I wanted us to give this band a name. So basically me, I would be going with coffee spirit. So just let's add a text. So using the text too. So I'm just adding a new text to a new layer. Let's see. Oh, let me unselect any layer. Sorry for this. My system seems to be hanging. Okay, text tool coffee.
Matthew, you have like 7 minutes more, so you can try to.
Okay. Yeah, coffee. Okay. Coffee spirits. We are almost done. Pardon if okay, it's spelled right. So I will centralize it as well using the align tool. Align. So it's at the center right now. So what I want to do, like I said, I want it to animate with the null object, which I had already done. So all I have to do is I'll just parent it right now to the null object, meaning that to the cup that I did. So if we're to look at it, you'll see what it will do. Since I parented it to it, so that basically means that once the cup is coming down, the words to will come down with it, which should now appear on the screen, as you can see. Since I brought the cup down, so the words too came down because it was parented to it. So to bring this even higher, you understand, all you have to do is you could add a transparent the opacity keyframe to it, just to make it flow smoother. So I'm just going to be adding a little bit of opacity to it. So T for opacity. So here would say it's at 0. It's not showing at all. But when it's almost down, it comes in view. You add the keyframe. Let's say 3 frames or 2 frames along the line becomes the 100. Let's say 100. 100. So let's ease it. F9. So as you can see, so let's split it. Let's see. Copy split. Copy went in, came down. So this is looking smooth. All we have to do is just do a return animation just to make it like as if it's looking. So we bring everything back up again. Just to make it like as if it's looking. That's after looking at the words a bit. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then I think okay, this should be here. Yes, I copied this keyframe because it's on the same angle. Then I paste it here and I Control C, Control V. That's what I did. So I want to know the distance between these two because I want to match it. So 1, 2. Okay, it's 2. So from here as well. So I will do shift page down twice as well, just to match it to the exact time frame as the previous one. So the words go back up. 1, 2. And I copy this keyframe and paste it as well. Copy and paste. Control C, Control V. So we play it. So it's person played. As you can see, the only difference is it's when it's going up, the motion feels a little bit slow, and that's because the graph editor is not like this. As you can see, this one is like this. So that's just try and match it. Once you match it, it will look exactly the same. Okay. 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 It's quite balanced like this. It's quite balanced like this. So basically, I would say we've looked at using opacity to make the ghost fade out. We looked at position to move the ghost from left to right and also move the curve. We took a look at parenting objects to one another, and we also took a look at null objects, using null objects to parent things together as well in this particular animation. So, Adeline, how many minutes do we still have?
Just about 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. As you can see, this animation is moving quite smoothly, but it's not looping. So if you want it to loop, you understand, like the way the whole thing starts again, all you have to do is, in this particular last section in which the coffee comes up, it shouldn't be the coffee that should come up. It should be a ghost, the beginning ghost that comes up. So to do such a thing, all you have to do is just duplicate, go to the beginning and try and duplicate the ghost which you add one more time. The first ghost which you did. That's everything that had to do with the ghost, which was the first shadow, the first body, and the first eyes or the first face of the ghost. If you duplicated all these three things, then you put it on top of everything. So that's you using control and the square brackets, put it on top of every one of them. And like I said, always change the color so you know that you're dealing with something new. Let's see. Lavender still looks like that blue. Um, it's taking a while.
I think you can just use it
Okay.
so that out of time.
Okay. Let me just use it like that. So one thing is this particular one now only just needs to be visible at the end. At the end where the cup is supposed to come in, it's the one that will come in. So let me just quickly, let's see. Um, Yeah. Okay. Let me remove all its already aligned keyframes and the keyframes in it. Then I link it. I'm going to be linking it to the null object as well. Everything under it. So it will move with them. So that's body to null object. Then okay, everything is already linked to the null object. Let's see. Okay, they move with it. So when they are coming up, okay, that's when they should be visible here. Then we'll make the cup not visible. That way, the whole animation would basically looping. So the cup, I'm looking for the cup right now. Everything under the cup should stop being visible on this line. So let me cut everything under the cup. I think they are all the pink ones. Cup. Let me see. Okay. One more. Needs to move. Okay. Top are 5 things. If there's a way I can just select all 3 of this. Import them from the side to be faster. Okay. So with this, the animation should be done. Okay, so then that's the last thing you do. You just cut everything else to do with the cup and this line. So with that, you are done. So all you have to do now is just play the animation and view the full thing. So it should loop this way. So we ended it with the way we started. So that was the reason why we duplicated the ghost one more time, just to end it the same way we started. So it will look like as if it's looping. As you can see, it's looping. So one of the things, because I noticed a little bit of it, so what you need to do is make sure that the plane stops exactly where your keyframe stop. So this extra little bit is what is making it as if it's a little bit lagging. So once you place it on it itself, then it should be perfect. Should be a perfect looking animation. So I will play it one more time. So you get to see how this. So I'll play it one more or 2 times. So you see the final product. So you can definitely get on this. And if you have any question, feel free to just send a message to the group or just reach out. We would basically answer your question. But this should be the final thing you should get. So okay, that is all for today. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, thank you so much.
You can cut.
Yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining. Thank you. It was impromptu, but we had to like finish up on where we stopped. So this is the assignment that we are submitting. This is what we are looking at basically, and the submission will be by Wednesday 9 p.m. That will be the deadline. So please, you can go to the video again. If you have any questions, let us know. And yes, feel free to play around the colors for your illustrations to just feel free to play around it. And yes, we'll be expecting our submissions. Thanks so much for joining. Let's have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much, Matthew. We are truly grateful for your time and the effort that I put into this. Thank you so much. So, guys, yes, we'll be looking forward to our submissions on Wednesday 9 p.m. Wednesday 9 p.m. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful week.